You're listening to Dramas Over Flowers. This is an episode of What's Up in Dramaland with Saya, Eunice, and Boromir. Hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Saya. In this episode, we'll be taking a quick look at current industry news as it pertains to K-drama fans, and we'll be updating you with the dramas set to premiere in the month ahead. This podcast is a project by fans for fans. If you want to be a part of making that dream grow, there are a whole lot of ways you can help. You can share our episodes on fan sites and social media, talk about the podcast to your K-drama loving friends, or leave a review on iTunes or whichever app or platform that you use to listen to us. And if you want to help us keep our lights on, you can check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/dramasoverflowers. Finally, you can get in touch with us with your thoughts and ideas. We're always reading the comments on YouTube and Drama Beans, but you can also tweet at us at dramasoverflow or email us at dramasoverflowers@gmail.com. And that's it from me. Enjoy the episode and tell us what you're looking forward to. Bye. Hi everyone, this is Saya.
This is Anissa.
And this is Parma. How you guys doing?
Doing okay. Well, as well as can be expected.
Right. Have you guys been watching new dramas?
We're not here to talk about the new dramas, are we?
We are not, but we can still say we've been watching. I also, it was Eid last weekend, so that was nice.
A very
For those who
Eid.
Celebrated Eid, yes. Happy Eid. Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
I mean, your Eid pictures just looked amazing.
Oh, it was
pretty
nice.
and warm and really...
It was a very,
really
homey and family-centered Eid.
I mean,
yeah.
Honestly, it's like how I wish Eid always was, but that's just homebody, not invertebrate, introvert me. I was like, I'm trying to get this word
You're
out.
turning
It
into
has
a blob.
Homebody slugs.
I just started picturing blob, Saya.
It's like the word has a V and a T and an R and maybe an N. Let's just see what comes out. Yeah, homebody slugs. That's my rock
That needs
band.
to go on a t-shirt. No, it was nice. It was really nice.
I agree.
So yeah, I think we just, at least I didn't really watch much during Ramadan, so I've been back on the binge watching wagon,
Easing yourself back into the game.
So we'll talk about that in the next yak.
Yeah. For now, let's get into news. What news do we have, guys?
So this is a story that I found on Han Cinema last week or so, and it's actually a translation of a Korean article that talks about the trend towards shorter Korean dramas from so the standard, as we know, the standard length tends to be 16 episodes, sometimes 20, occasionally 24 for the primetime sort of miniseries dramas. But we've had a lot of recent 12-episode ones, Hospital Playlist just ended. But there's also been others recently, such as The Light in Your Eyes, The Cursed, 365 Repeat the Year, which was 24 episodes, but it was 12 hours. Strangers from Hell. So these ones are, and there's Mystic Pop-Up Bar and Conde Intern, Sweet Munchies. Is Sweet Munchies Midnight Snack Couple? Because I hate that English title. Okay.
Everyone
and then
hates
Team
it.
Bulldog. It's the worst. I refuse. Midnight Snack Couple is so cute and perfect. Anyway, so all these dramas are 12 episodes. And so the article just kind of talks about how it's due to the changing patterns because of, for example, Netflix has gotten involved in a lot of these, sort of from the initial production stages rather than just licensing it later. And they prefer shorter seasons. And also because they're getting paid in a different way. Traditionally, they had the longer episode lengths because they wanted to get more advertising revenue, and you get it per episode, right? So they kind of used to, and I think that had kind of a stretching effect on the story sometimes. But now, because that advertising structure has changed, they don't need to have such long episode runs.
I don't think it's so much that the advertising structure has changed. It's that they used to milk every extra episode for all the ad products they could get into. But the platform where they get most viewership has now changed, with so much of the interest moving towards OTT platforms like Netflix, and viewers preferring, especially international audiences, preferring shorter content.
Yeah.
And they're taking that into account more.
And it also kind of, it reduces production costs.
Oh, yeah.
And dramas
absolutely.
are becoming more expensive to produce. And they were also saying that it ideally would help with these labor laws where people aren't allowed to work more than 52 hours a week, but that's not necessarily happening in practice.
No, yeah.
So it's a really interesting article. We'll share it. It goes in depth. But what do you guys think?
I don't think the 16 episode format is completely going to vanish overnight or even over the next couple of years. But the prevalence of 12 episode dramas are, taking over. We are getting more and more of these, and they are doing well. And it's easier for them to keep the ratings up and the pace of the drama up when it's 12 episodes. So there are distinct advantages to it from the PD and writer's perspective as well. So I think we'll see more and more of them, and slowly maybe fewer and fewer of 16 episodes. But I don't think, like, for mainstream dramas, the 16, 20 episode thing is going to go away, at least not immediately.
And it seems like that the 12 episoders are leaning more heavily on thrillers right now, rather than I mean, I think we sort of have a tradition of saying it every yak, that pretty much every rom-com needs to be no more than 12 episodes, but it looks that cut is actually not going for the rom-coms first. It's going for things like plot heavy stories first.
Yeah, I think the only rom-com I can think of that had 12 episodes was Top Star Ubaek, which I am always encouraging more people to watch.
Really,
and Sassy Go-Go had 12 episodes as well.
Really?
Oh,
I did not remember that. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it did. Huh. And that was just absolutely perfect. Not a moment.
It was.
It was perfect. Absolutely. From the start to the end, I don't remember a single episode of Flab.
And also, Piece of Your Mind, which was cut to 12 from 16. From people who've watched it, they said that actually it worked really, really well. As in, within that 12 episodes, it was enough. And the reason that they gave was to tighten the story, but I think it was more down to ratings, right? Ratings and production stuff. But it did actually have that effect of tightening the story, from what I hear.
I agree with them, because I had massive problems with how they had set up A Piece of Your Mind initially, and what they were that was a mess of a drama.
If you want to know what those problems are, go check out our Instagram.
Yeah, but I do agree. I mean, they started focusing a lot more on the romance. They started establishing characters quicker, the character arcs. The pace picked up. And a lot of the people who are already enjoying A Piece of Your Mind, because it broke away from the traditional drama storytelling. I mean, I didn't appreciate it, but other people did. They really didn't want it to be cut short. They wanted it's kind of like release the Snyder Cut thing. They wanted the director's original.
Oh my God, can you believe that thing is actually coming out? I'm sorry. I had to say that. But anyway.
Okay. I'm happy to make a tiny digression here. I cannot believe that they're actually producing it. I'm actually really happy. I like it when fans, I don't want fans to be able to successfully pressure production houses into getting their own way every single time. But in this one instance, the fans had been rallying around the release the Snyder Cut thing for like 3 to 4 years now. They've been so damn dedicated. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they're getting what they want. So
many of them have been so obnoxious. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I have conflicted feelings.
We can say that about every movement.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is a drama podcast. Anisa, we shouldn't be hijacking
but explain it before you move on.
Yeah, no. So when Justice League came out, was it 2016?
2016.
Yeah. So the original director, Zack Snyder, had to leave because he had a tragedy in his family. Yeah. So he left, and Joss Whedon came in, creator of Buffy, and he took over and he kind of like finished the movie.
Buffy? Dude, Avengers!
Well, that's
Buffy came
what
first.
I first got to know him for.
That's not why he got the gig, though. He got it because of Avengers.
Right. He did Avengers.
Former's outrage.
And Avengers Age of Ultron. So he came in and he kind of, Joss Whedon it up. And they did some reshoots and stuff. And so a lot of the DC, because you know how there's this whole like DC Marvel rivalry, quote unquote. So then like ever since then, fans have been saying, release the Snyder Cut. We want to see the movie that he would have made, even though like I don't think it actually exists. So now they're actually releasing it.
The thing is, one of the reasons the fan movement kept going, despite no encouragement for the production house, is because Snyder himself came and said, I have lots of footage
Right.
that they just left on the floor that would have changed the way the story moved. So the fans were convinced that a Snyder cut would be better and tell a completely different story. So, and Zack Snyder has been encouraging that.
He has definitely been encouraging it, yes. He's been like releasing things on Instagram and he's been stoking.
But you know what I like? Because this again brings us to our conversation about OTT platforms. So Warner Bros. Is not just creating a movie, they're basically putting money into a series. They're going to take the whatever new Snyder Cut version of Justice League that they're going to produce and release it as a sort of a limited episode series. So it's cheaper for them to produce, but also this is something of an experiment. The fan base is already there, the audience is already built in, and they're going to release it exclusively on their own platform. They don't have to, publish it, distribute it through theaters. None of those expenses are involved at all. And more than just the production of a movie, it's a distribution that costs a lot of money, and that's where people generally, production houses lose money. So OTT platform, again, is changing the game in that something like this is possible.
And this is like almost like the perfect timing as well, with like theaters shut down because of the pandemic. They can't release it in theaters anyway.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Okay.
All right.
That's enough of that
Back
tangent.
to dramas.
Which brings us quite neatly to kind of the things that I thought reading this article.
Yeah.
Like, with Piece of Your Mind, the reasons that they gave were like artistic, but the article says that the reasons are largely economic, rather than artistic. So with being sort of more money-based, it will still have a really good knock-on effect from the artistic side, which, I mean, on the one hand, you're like, were they listening to us? No, probably not. But we still get what we want, so it's cool.
Yeah, and it's also rare for the economic and the artistic side to actually line up. Usually they're in conflict.
Yeah.
But the thing that concerns me, though, is that there's a very definite focus on like global trends and international markets and things like that. And you do wonder whether, like, how will K-drama change to sort of give way to that? Because they say, what the article is saying is that we have to observe what works for an international palette. We have to see what it is that people like and respond to. Like, does that mean that K-drama might sort of lose its, like, will it change the fundamental nature of a K-drama? Will it lose the thing that makes it so appealing for us to watch?
That's something that I worry about as well. But somebody, I forget, one of the forums reminded us in a comment that Netflix is pretty popular in Korea as well. That production houses aren't just looking at international tastes, but of their own country people watching more dramas on OTT platforms than they're watching on TV. They're watching it on their phones. They're watching it on their tablets. They are patronizing more and more of these OTT sites. And the thing that Netflix has found about episode structure and how many episodes works and all of that, this is true for Korean viewership as well. When they watch their own dramas. So on TV, they may be okay with 20 episodes, but on their phones when they're watching a drama, because you remember like web series, when we see those, the Korean web series that have been coming out over the last 10 years, they tend to be from 4 to 8 episodes.
And they're short. They're like
very
15 minutes,
Exactly. And they're very popular. So there is something in that as well.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this maybe in the last What's Up in Dramaland, or maybe in a yak, but I think the way that Netflix went into Korea was pretty smart too, because they kind of indigenized themselves from a business. They didn't really come in as an international company that's kind of hiring their own people and bringing them all in from outside. They really do, hire people locally, and they've kind of integrated themselves in a pretty smart way. So that I don't think that, at least from my impressions, I don't think that Koreans necessarily see Netflix as like a completely foreign company. We also know
for a fact that they've been really smart about hiring Korean Americans so that they have an idea of what both sides of the audience field would want.
For sure.
I wouldn't say no to like 60-minute episodes coming down to 45 minutes. I think, like, for example, in 9, they had 9 time travels.
Yeah.
That's a really confusing title to say. Let's just call it 9. They had 45-minute episodes. There was a period when TVN was doing 45-minute episodes, and then they just stopped. But that was a really good length.
Shut Up, Flower Boy Band was also, at that time, the cable dramas actually had shorter episodes than broadcast television. When like 2012, 2014, like in the beginning of cable, when cable really started to take off. And then they just kept getting longer and longer. And in the meantime, the broadcast regulations changed so that the broadcast networks actually had a limit of 60 minutes and the cable didn't. So it's just like, what crazy. Now we have like movies for an episode in Hospital Playlist.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I can't believe you guys are complaining about that. I can't get enough of these people and it's already ended. I'm just devastated.
I mean, there are exceptions, but in general, I do like shorter episodes.
Yeah.
But it's just easier.
It's just the attention span.
Yeah. So I'm not going to belabor the point too much. I do think that 12-episode dramas work better than 16-episode dramas in most cases. And I think we've talked about this before, but there's something about Korean dramas that really resonates with people who love to read. And I think it's because a movie, I mean, like books get adapted into movies all the time, but realistically, a movie is way too short. So usually people who love a book are not going to love the movie that got made out of it because 1 hour, or I mean, even like the 3-hour movies aren't really long enough to capture the essence of a book. But in a drama, you can get
Harry Potter series.
Exactly. Oh my God. Let's not go on to another rant. But, like you just, the 16-episode drama, it does give you enough time to go into that, but maybe it's like a little bit too long, and like 12 episodes is a perfect length for not necessarily an adaptation of the book, but like the type of story that has that much character development and story development in a way that really satisfies you in a way that like a movie can't. So I think this is a good trend, personally. And I do feel like it cuts out that like 13, 14 episode slump that most dramas have.
The final thought that I have on this is that I want writers and PDs to have the option of making a 12-episode drama, 14-episode drama, 16, 20, whatever actually suits the story, instead of just giving into the pressures of the production house wanting to monetize more episodes or 100%. Trying to fit into sort of like a sort of conventional format of any sort. I want them to have more choices in the length of their drama. And if something like this allows them more choices, that would make me happy, because I don't think that there is a perfect length for all stories, that there is no one size fits all. So while some stories can perfectly be told in 12 episodes, there are stories that need the entirety of their 16-episode run. So yeah, that's my final thought of that.
That's true. Agreed.
My puppy apparently peed on my sofa. My dad came in to complain about that, but I can't leave.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, maybe it'll be dry by the time you go out.
That's not helpful, Sarah.
Oh no.
But it was funny, right?
Yeah. I'm afraid Anissa's gonna keep this in. So the next story on our plate is King's low ratings. Though I should point out right now that the King has, like, it was suffering really low ratings. It had gone down to 5.2 in the 15th and 16th May episodes. But in the last 2 episodes, it has swung up to about 8. So it's still way low ratings for a Kim Yoon-suk drama. I think the last Mr. Sunshine has something up to 18%. And Goblin and Descendants of the Sun, of course, was stratospheric. They had broken records. But The King has not been doing well. It had debuted at 11.1, 11.4, but in the first 2 episodes. But it's been struggling. I think what helped in the last episode was that cavalry charge scene that happened, which, if you guys haven't watched, not much of a spoiler. Okay. There is something amazing that happens. And I think it just got memed the hell across the internet. So if you have social media and you're watching any King content, you've probably come across it. So I think that really helped and pushed the interest of the audience up again, and people went back to watch the newer episodes. So the article speculates, so there is a Sumpi article that we're basing this on. And the article speculates that the world building is a bit confusing for most of the audience. There was some controversy about some Japanese cultural appropriation in the structure of the Kingdom of Korea's palace, in how the warship looked. So I was not aware that there was a controversy, but there was apparently some. But what actually hit the drama the worst seems to be sort of a lack of interest in the characters. The romance isn't anything stunning. And the PPL is a bit too much. I mean, every other scene has product placement and it's very obvious and shoved in and people hate it. So that's the news. What do you guys think?
I think this is a blow for her, but I do wonder if it's because of, and this is in like quote marks, but is it because it's miscast? Because in the hands of a different actor, could you not see the same story sort of landing completely differently?
I don't think a lot of people have issues with Lee Min-ho. That doesn't seem to be because they are quite enjoying the fanfare around Lee Min-ho's character. My cousin certainly is. She started the series last week and she can't have enough of it. She's messaging me with every new episode she's watching, and she's asking me questions about what happens next and then answering it herself. She's that excited. So, and she adores Lee Min-ho. She loves every moment of this drama because it's so Lee Min-ho centric. But so for fans, this is glorious. I don't think people are, the issue that Anisa and I had about his sort of straight-faced delivery is not something that most people share. Instead, it seems to be a lack of chemistry between the romantic pairing, and this drama doesn't really have a lot of quotable dialogues, memeable scenes. It really doesn't have anything that memorable. Like, it doesn't have cinematic moments the way Descendants did and Goblin did. So I think that is really hitting the drama
But
hard.
it does try.
It tries, but it's not successful. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are many factors, but I think even though for fans of Lee Min-ho who enjoy watching him, it's not an issue, his lack of charisma does make the drama. And I'm caveating this with the fact that I've only seen the first 2 episodes, so take it with a grain of salt. But from what I watched, even though he, like, if you enjoy watching him, you'll probably enjoy watching this because, like you said, it's very much centered on his character. But the fact that he doesn't have that kind of Gong Yoo or like Song Jun-ki charisma, it doesn't allow the performance of the lead to kind of cover up some of the gaps that, to be fair, like Kim In-suk's dramas always have some gaps because she builds her shows around these big moments. And I mean, you're saying that this drama doesn't even have those great cinematic moments, but like usually they have these big moments, but then like the in-between stuff tends to be not quite as tightly put together.
This drama has plenty of cinematic moments. They are just not memorable cinematic.
Because the wrong actor's taking them.
Right. So, you know, like for example, in Descendants of the Sun, we have the scarf scene where the scarf her scarf blows and then like the army, they come and then he catches her scarf. I mean, that's really memorable, but it's because of the actors, right? And the music. Yeah. And this drama doesn't have good music, or at least it's not like Goblin level music, which I think for Goblin played a huge part in why that drama was so successful.
Oh my God, yeah.
It doesn't have a lead actor that has that kind of charisma. It doesn't really have great chemistry between the 2 actors from what I saw. And it doesn't seem to be as well written as anything except Airs that she's done in the past. This is like Airs level writing.
Is this like the Hung Sisters effect? Like she needs to have a break and get more ideas and then come back?
Yeah, I feel like she just did it too quickly without putting enough thought into the world building, which you can't do with a fantasy supernatural.
Well, I kind of want to hear more of what Saya thinks the reason might be, because she's watched this with like proper joy. This drama.
Yes, please tell us.
I am still super enjoying it. I mean, I'm on episode 4. I finished episode 4. And I find the story and the plot really compelling, but I do sadly have to admit that the lead actor is not compelling. Like, he's got these lines, which, like, I know if X, Y, or Z were doing it, I would remember it. So this is kind of like Barma saying that the moments are there and they're not memorable. There are moments, and they are trying, but because he, and Nisa, like you described it, his monotone, it really is a monotone. Why? And it's like, it's not to the point where I like cannot stand to watch him. He's still perfectly watchable, but he's not at all memorable. And he doesn't have that sort of emotional resonance that, for example, Gong Yoo or Lee Dong-wook or Song Joong-ki or any of those people, he doesn't have that. Even Kim Woo-bin, you know? And, you know, when he was opposite Kim Woo-bin in Airs, Kim Woo-bin was the one who, like, outshone him by a mile.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, he doesn't have the kind of magnetism that a lead needs. And he doesn't like his intonation, he needs to have some tone. Like his best moments are when he starts smiling and laughing and his tone changes, and you're like, oh, that's the flash of personality I want
Do
to
more
see.
of that.
Yeah, he doesn't bring any personality to his character, and there's like, the skill of an actor is that even with a straight face, they can like, even if they're not showing an expression,
they're showing expressions.
Exactly. Like there's stuff going on, but he doesn't even have stuff going on.
Case in point, like if you watch, I don't know if you're watching Hospital Playlist, but like Jo Jung-suk can just be like sitting on a sofa saying nothing and not moving his body, and you know that like there's like 10 things going on in his mind, and you know all of them.
Exactly.
That's the kind of acting you need in one of these types of dramas, because
Jo
they have to
Jung-suk is
carry
really
so much.
Such a good example, because he's like a genius of emotion.
Yeah. You know who's reminding me of him, like who's coming up now, is Lee Da-hee. He doesn't look like him,
oh my God,
but the way he acts, like his acting style really reminds me of Jo Jung-suk. Like he has the same type of charisma,
agreed.
The same type of like charming awkwardness.
Yeah, right. And it's like cut by a certain sort of self-deprecation and like a sort of an element of like the hodang. Like there's just something not quite 100% about how they're put together. They're just a little bit sort of, I don't know how you that.
And then that adds up to more than 100% somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
And in addition to that, I'm sort of harking back to what you guys said about Kim Woo-bin showing up Lee Min-ho in Airs. In this drama, he's being shown up by Woo Do-han, who's just doing an amazing job of the twin characters of Jo Young and Yoon Sup. I mean, oh my God, this boy, he has a gold mine in these two, in the doppelganger thing. It's just, and he is milking it, and he is getting memed everywhere. People are loving the heck out of him. It's just sad, man.
Yeah,
he's being shown up doubly, not just singly.
Take note, Imino, being handsome isn't enough.
It does get you amazing roles. It gets you more chances than other people would ever get. But if you bomb chances like these,
you'll stop getting them.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because there is a good actor in him somewhere. He just needs to dig more.
Would you guys believe that the first time I saw Lee Min-ho was in Boys Over Flowers, and I went back to it just to see what was it about him that so attracted me to his character, because he was such a dunce. But he was laughing and he was making these faces. I mean, he had this whole range of emotion in that character. What happened to those expressions? How did he just, it's like it's all the expressions got sapped out of him right after he did City Hunter. Everything after that, he hasn't actually done that many dramas. If you guys look at what he's done, I mean, if you guys have watched Personal Taste, he has a range of emotions. So it's not like he can only do buffoon roles with emotions and not straight-faced ones.
Yeah, it's kind of like what we were talking about in the Yak. Like it's not that he doesn't have the skills. He just doesn't seem to care or be trying very hard, which is why I'm like more upset. You know, like if you just can't do it, then like you can't do it. It's not your fault. But he can. He just isn't trying.
But like it's also like, if you think about where actors' incomes come from, they basically get it made once they get picked up for endorsements.
Right.
And he's like, maybe the majority of his income does come from CFs now, and also he was in army for a couple of years.
Yeah.
But so even when he's not acting, it's not that he's not working, he's just doing other stuff. And, what do you do in CFs? You stand around and sort of smile once, and modeling and all of that.
Right. And that's what he looks like he's doing in this show, is just like modeling
being
clothes.
a model. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I think his shining moments are when he's doing PPLs in the dramas.
Maybe that's why they cast him. Now we understand. Yeah, we should really move on.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah.
That probably belongs in the Yak.
Yes, more in the Yak.
So we've got a few quick hits in the news as well, and this is one that is very close to my heart, or shall I say rage centers. Jun-ki and Chae-won have a reunion as they're cast together in a new drama called Flower of Evil, which is a very strange drama. But in case you don't remember, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, they were together for Criminal Minds more than a couple of years ago, which I hated. In case anybody doesn't remember that.
We remember.
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah, I recapped it on Drama Beans, and I hated every moment of it. Because it was just such a waste of two very, like, well, Lee Jun-ki is a very good actor. Moon Chae-won, I think, is overrated and doesn't choose good projects. So she's definitely a busy actor, but have you, like, apart from Princess's Man, I don't recall seeing her in a good drama where I was like, you know what, she's good. Like, she's serviceable and competent, but not memorable.
Agreed. I don't actually... Oh, what about that Innocent Man? The one with Song Joong-ki? Wasn't she in that?
She was in that, actually, but then I didn't really like that drama that much overall.
That show, yeah.
Yeah.
That made me really angry.
I never finished watching it.
It's good that you didn't. The ending was horrible.
Yeah, it really was.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it right now. I just remember I didn't like it.
Yeah, it was enraging.
And I remember, was it Mama Fairy and the Woodcutter, which was, I think, last year, which was, like, it was a very strange drama, which I watched one episode of.
Yeah, she was on that.
Yeah, she just doesn't seem to make good choices. Goodbye, Mr. Black. Was that what it was called?
To be honest, I've loved her more as second leads than as main leads. She was the second lead in Brilliant Legacy, Shining Inheritance. And, like, she was horrible, but also really relatable. Like, she did such a good job as the second lead in that. And I haven't really seen her in anything that impressed me as much since.
I'm actually excited about this one, though, because for the, like, 3 seconds that they got to actually spend together in Criminal Minds, they did have decent chemistry, and they are both good. And I always enjoy smirking Lee Jun-gi, so, you know, I'll take it.
For sure.
And did you guys know that Park Shin-hye was doing a zombie film with Yoo in?
So I just saw the trailer of this like 3 days ago, and I like pretty much lost my mind because it looks amazing. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't watch zombie movies. But the trailer is like, it's great.
I haven't watched the trailer yet.
Our resident zombie
I
lover.
love Park Shin-hye.
And you love zombies.
I love zombie movies. I adore Kingdom. So I'm really happy for her. She really needs to move away from sappy romantic drama characters where she's been brutally typecast as this. I don't even know what her character type is. It's just not pleasant anymore. It was great in You're Beautiful and it was okay in Heartstrings, but she just needs to. I mean, I quite liked her in Doctors, but she's just been doing the same character over and over again for the last 10 years. She just needs to move on. And from what little, because I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I've been hearing about this for a while. So I'm both excited and I'm really, her character sounds interesting and new for her. So I'm really rooting for her.
So in the trailer, like, I totally agree with you. I think it's partly because she was a child actress and she got stuck in these like nice sort of
girl roles,
Girl Next Door, yeah.
Exactly. But like, I didn't even recognize her at first in the trailer because she's so different until she started talking. And I was like, oh, it's Park Shin-hye's voice. Like, oh my God, that's Park Shin-hye. So it's really different. I'm like really excited to see her in this, actually. I might like close my eyes for the zombie parts and just watch because it looks so intriguing.
Nice.
Back to what Barma was saying, do you not think that that's down to the kind of roles that get offered to lead actresses in their 20s? Because, I mean, now she's in her 30s, so it kind of opens up the floor for different types of roles that she can do.
That's true.
That is a really fair point. Actresses in their 20s seem not to have as many options as actresses in their 30s, and I don't understand why.
It's more that the opposite is true, that when you pass your 20s, no one wants to cast you anymore. And then you start...
No one wants to cast you as the romantic interest of the lead male.
Yeah, exactly.
But in terms of getting meatier roles, your options seem to suddenly be more, because now you're not seen just as a romantic interest, but as an actress in your own right. And suddenly stories can revolve around your character.
And she said that she did like a lot of her own stunts and stuff, so it looks like she's doing some action, which I've never seen Park Shin-hye do. Well, it's exciting actually. I mean,
just a few seconds in the trailer, I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Excited to see
the strongest thing I've ever seen her do is like jump over a puddle in one drama.
Usually she's creating the puddles with her tears, right?
Exactly.
God, I hate Park Shin-hye crying so much. Anyway, but I really like her.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like her too. I genuinely do. Yeah, I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, and the next story that I wanted to quickly mention and squee over is that Lee Da-hee is going to star in a new drama opposite Kim Hae-won. I love both of them, but especially Lee Da-hee in a lead role. Yes. Is this her first lead role?
I think
kind of.
so.
I think it is.
Must be.
Yeah.
I was looking at her filmography.
I mean, aside from such,
that's kind of ensemble, isn't it?
That's an ensemble.
Exactly, it's an ensemble.
And technically, I think...
No. She had something about Mrs. Cop or something. She did, wasn't that Lee Da-hee?
She wasn't really the lead in that. She was kind of the rookie.
Okay. Never mind then.
The lead was the older woman.
Kim Hee-ae was the lead in that. This is, I'm pretty sure, because I'm looking at her filmography, this is her first lead role. So congratulations to her. Well-deserved and very belated.
Right.
The drama is called Luca.
Such a good actress.
And I don't really know what to make of the premise, but like I don't even care. I'm watching this.
But I'm just reading the article that you linked, and it says that Ji Chang-wook was previously in talks for it, and he reportedly turned it down in favor of the Kim Yoo-jung drama. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Ji Chang-wook, you can't be saved.
It makes no sense.
He keeps doing these making these nonsensical choices. I don't know
we'll talk about that in like a few minutes. So save your rents.
But I'm so excited about this. Kim Rae-won, I last saw him in Doctors. I wasn't super happy with him, but he is a really good actor. And what? Saya, what?
Doctors.
I know you do.
I last saw him I haven't seen Doctors, but I last saw him in Punch, which was like a literal punch to the gut. It was so good, but it was also like a sad ending. So I want to see him smiling and being happy and not like crying.
Doctors is like
dying.
the fluffy, I mean, not fluffy, but it was one of those like giddy romances. And okay, I can see why you would have had reservations about his character, but like, I didn't.
I have like a gigantic soft spot for Kim Rae-won, so I might just go watch that at some point when I have time. So now moving on to upcoming for June. First we have...
Yay!
Yeah! We have five dramas, and as usual, just a reminder, we don't do weekend dramas or daily dramas or like short web dramas. And the first one actually was interesting because I feel like we didn't really have like a set in stone policy about episodes, but I think I'm just like making one on the fly that it has to be at least 6 episodes. Because this 6 episode season it seems like this new thing that Netflix has kind of started with, like, I feel like Kingdom kind of started it unintentionally because it didn't have enough money to make 8 episodes. So now there's this new one, with the first one we're talking about. It's called The School Nurse Files, which is going to be a 6 episode season on Netflix. That's airing in the beginning of June. So I've decided that this is my lower limit of what I'm going to put on upcoming. Just FYI. So this is like a mystery horror comedy. It stars Jung Yoo-mi. This is the Jung Yoo-mi who was in what was the love drama that it had love in the title, and she did it with Eric. Anyway, that one.
And the only Eric drama I've watched is Another Miso.
I know the drama and I cannot remember the name right now.
Yeah, it's like a reunion where they used to be together and they came back. It's from the I Need Romance writers. Anyway, that drama, that Jung Yoo-mi. The Kesarasra Jung Yoo-mi. And co-starring Nam Joo-hyuk. And it's about a school nurse who is also an exorcist. She has a special ability which allows her to see ghosts, and she can also eradicate them. And she uses a toy knife and a BB gun to take out the ghosts. Pretty badass. A mysterious thing takes place at the school, and she tries to be a good teacher and eradicate the bad ghosts with the help of teacher Hong In-pyo, who I'm guessing is Nam Joo-hyuk. So this is by the director of I don't know if you guys have heard of Crush and Blush. It came out quite a while ago. I remember when I first started watching dramas in 2009, it had come out like pretty recently and people were raving about it. So like it was a pretty big hit movie, and she used to be part of Park Chan-wook's team, and then she became a director in her own right. So I think she's a pretty big deal. She also wrote and directed Persona with IU last year.
I watched that.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. So she's like a pretty prestigious director. That's director Lee Kyung-mi who's directing it. And it's based on the novel School Nurse Anunyoung, which is also the Korean title of the drama. And she is a novelist, and she's also writing the drama as well. And I've put a little excerpt of the novel here, which I was hoping you guys would read, but that didn't work out.
Nobody has, and Anita's deeply disappointed in us.
But we will put it in our blog post so you guys can also read that. I think it gives you a good sense of like the atmosphere of the novel and hopefully the drama.
So this is what I really like about K-dramas. The synopsis just sounds so... It sounds like a child's anime, but given the director, given the actors that they've cast, there is absolutely no doubt that somehow they're going to turn this into some kind of like a heartwarming, deep tale that explores characters and arcs and everything. Yes,
I think you're overestimating Namjoon's ability.
Am I?
Yeah, seriously, I just don't understand why he keeps getting cast in big shows or any shows that are not web dramas, because his talent level is web drama. Apart from Weightlifting Fairy, which was a fluke, he actually can't act.
Yeah, and that's like the one sore thumb in this whole premise.
He was pretty bad in.
He's bad
Bride
in
of
everything.
Habit.
He's bad in everything except Weightlifting Fairy, where he's amazing, which is just like, that's completely bizarre. But
well, and they fell in love in real life, so we know how much of that was acting. So
a fair point.
I think, but I think the good.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got together after the drama ended, and then they broke up like a year or two later. You didn't hear about this?
Oh, that's why. No, that barely counts. They all start dating right after the drama. That I don't count that as anything.
They don't all.
Yeah,
many of them strongly deny it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not when one or the other is already in a relationship or married. They don't. It's a Dramaland thing. Which is why it's really hard to tell how much of it is genuine and how much of it is not. The first time I got really invested in this was
Queen and Hyunsman.
Queen and Huntsman, yeah. When Noona got together with her co-star, and I was deeply in love with the pairing.
That was a saga though, because he confessed to her in public, and
that was a red flag.
No. Yeah, she could not say no.
There were issues. It kind of felt like she was pressured into the relationship. But the thing was that everybody around them seemed to really like the idea so much. The fans, the producers, the agents, because it really helped their careers at that point. Which is why I have a hard time sort of like seeing posts about, these two actors who were amazing in this romantic drama got together right after the drama. I kind of would prefer to just stand back and not comment on it and just let them have their relationship and see how that, because if you can last longer than 2 or 3 years, then it doesn't really matter what my input is. But if somebody does ask me, then I would say that those first couple of years, there is a very large likelihood that they're staying together because of the pressures around them. And if I'm supposed to comment on their relationship, I don't know how genuine it is, and I don't know how genuine they would think it is. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
I agree, and this is kind of, I didn't really want to put this in the news because it's not like, I don't know, it feels kind of not that nice to comment on somebody's divorce news. Like we kind of did it when Song Jun-ki and Song Hae-kyo broke up, because it was such a big, huge story that I felt like we couldn't ignore it. But Lee Da-hee and Jo-yoongi just announced that they're getting divorced after 3 years of marriage. And I remember a few years back when they
didn't know that.
First got married, that someone made a joke that like he ends up dating everyone that he co-stars with, which was kind of true. Like I think it was like 3 different dramas in a row where he ended up dating his co-star. And so when they got married, people were like, oh, is this going to last? And I mean, I really don't like that kind of speculation, but it kind of goes to show that, like, I do agree that there's this, like, artificial feeling. And I mean, I learned about this in psychology, too, in university, where, like, acting like you feel a certain way causes you to feel a certain way. And so there is an element of just acting like you love someone makes you feel like you love them.
I think we talked about that.
You definitely need time. Yeah, we did talk about it in one of our past episodes.
We definitely talked. I think it was the Song couple episode that we discussed this on. The reason I mentioned this at all is because I don't get invested in actors dating outside their characters anymore. I did in the initial couple of years, and then I realized that's a first of all, none of my business. Second of all, there is no, because the environment created during those dramas, as you said, the heightened pressure around them, all of these things influence them. So it's not like a grand romantic thing that they got together in the end. It almost feels like an inevitable thing that they were pressured into. So I try to not feel invested in it.
This news only was announced yesterday.
It's very new, yeah. I just saw it when I woke up.
Did you know they had a daughter? That kind of makes it even more sad.
Yeah, she's getting custody. So I mean, I'm sad for them that didn't work out.
Oh,
it's sad news, but
sad.
Yeah, I just thought of it when you said that. So about the drama itself, I'm sorry. I feel like my comment just took us on a whole tangent. Are you guys excited for this?
I don't know how I'm gonna wait for the trailer because, as you said, Nam Jo Hyuk, it's not been the best track record, and school-based dramas like these with exorcisms and stuff, this is not usually my jam. So
I think the one thing that is encouraging about it is that, like, it seems to be centered very much around Jung Yoo-Lee's character, and it doesn't seem like, you know, like he's kind of just her helper. He's not. I don't know if it's even going to be a romance. It's a mystery horror comedy, and it's based on a novel. So
yeah, like it seems like it's not a romance.
Yeah, the little bit of the excerpt that I saw looks like extremely creepy. So I think it's probably going to be leaning more to that side rather than like a romantic, warm school drama. Plus, you know, awesome director. We'll see, I guess.
Hey, I'll take a nurse exorcist any day over the slew of ghost movies we've had before, especially in the last year or so.
The Jung Yoo-Lee drama title that you were trying to remember is Discovery of Love. Thanks to everyone who yelled that.
Right.
Thanks to everyone who yelled this at us while we were talking about it.
I kept thinking like Revolutionary Love, except I know that's wrong.
That was the other one.
Yeah. So the next one is My Unfamiliar Family, which in Korean the title is I Don't Know Much, But We're Family. I'm actually really excited for this one. It's going to be 16 episodes on TVN. It's premiering on June 1st. And it's like a family drama comedy. It stars Han Ye-ri, Kim Ji-suk, Shin Dong-wook, Ju Ja-hyun, Shin Da-hee, and then like other famous actors, but like I just stopped there because it's ensemble.
Kim Ji-suk, right?
Kim Ji-suk and Han Ye-ri are both like my favorites. I love them so much. Yeah, Han Ye-ri is incredible.
And Shin Ja-hee is always really, really good in everything he does.
Yeah, Shin Ja-hee is Namu from You Who Forgot Poetry. I loved him so much in that. Yeah, so like, and the funny thing is like they play siblings. So Han Ye-ri, Ju Ja-hyun, and Shin Ja-hee play siblings, and especially Han Ye-ri and Shin Ja-hee, like they look like siblings. So I got a kick out of that.
And Chu Ja-hyun was really amazing in Beautiful World, which she did last year.
That's right. I remember you saying that she was really good in that.
Amazing.
I haven't seen her acting. I've only seen her in Variety. So the plot is basically about a family that has been drifting apart. So Kim Ye-ri is the main character, and she has an older brother who is a former patent attorney, and her younger brother is a sensitive soul. But her father is hardworking but distant, and that's made her mother, the mother is kind of like over it and she's ready to move on. So in the trailer, she actually says like, let's break up to the dad. And then she has a close male friend that she feels more like family than her own family that she confides in, which is Kim Ji-suk's character. And once she starts returning to the dating scene, she also asks him for love advice, but I'm sure we can all predict how that's going to go. And I think the other love interest is probably Shin Dong-wook because he has a different last name than her as well in the character names. But events take a turn. And if you watch the trailer, you'll see what the turn is. It's kind of hilarious, but I don't want to say it because I feel like it's a spoiler. But it's basically like something that the family has to overcome together when they're in this state of being all over the place and not really close.
The trailer seems to have, I mean, the thing about family dramas is that, of course, I'm used to like 50 episode family dramas setting up, you know, large family dynamics and stuff. But this one seems to have a feeling of that whole family drama thing. Plus, it seems to have a more, you know, it's not like a story that starts with the morning rituals of your parents opening a shop like My Father is Strange. It's like a more immediate thing that they're dealing with. So it has those sort of like sad, dark, urgent conflict thing going on in the trailer.
And I feel like these shorter mini-series style dramas can do a really good job of, you know, exploring family dynamics in a way that's like much tighter and more condensed, and for that reason can be even more powerful sometimes, like with Sky Castle, for example. And I also wanted to mention, this is a screenwriter of Flower Boy Next Door and Sweet Stranger and Me, also known as The Man Living in Our House, which I didn't watch the latter. I watched Flower Boy Next Door. And this is the second drama that the director of Search WWW is doing. So we loved that director. I'm excited.
I'm really excited about this, it being from the same writer as Flower Boy Next Door, because that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, I felt like that was a really thoughtful drama, but also funny. So hopefully that's going to be the same way. Any other thoughts before we move on?
I hope I have time to check it out.
Yeah, I think
still in November.
Right? Too many things.
Yeah.
Too many dramas. I feel like we're say that every month. At least there aren't 15 airing this month and only 5.
I think that's happening next month, right?
Oh dear. Yeah, it comes every 2 or 3 months. Yeah. The next one is Backstreet Rookie, which is airing on June 12th. And this is the drama that was initially translated as Convenience Store Setpyo.
Yeah, this one. This
So,
is...
let me just read before we start getting into it, let me just read the synopsis. So, Daeyeon runs into a group of female high school students, including Setpyo. The girls look like troublemakers. She asks him to do an errand for him, which is to buy cigarettes from a convenience store, which he does, and she gets his number, but she never calls him. 4 years later, Daeyeon is 33 years old and runs a convenience store after quitting his job at a large company. He hires her at his convenience store to work the night shift. She is not a troublemaker anymore, but a university student guided by her strong morals. And the subtext is that they fall in love. And this stars Ji Chang-wook and Kim Yoo-jung. And I just want to tell you that in real life, they're 12 years apart. Do with that what you will.
But I kind of love that she's a bully. Like, she bullies him. Not a bully, but that the tiny Kim Yoo-jung has power over giant Ji Chang-wook. That's the only thing I love. Yeah. But everything else...
So the positives from the trailer would be that it's... the pace is really quick. They seem to, like, there are a few moments where they are sort of, they are exchanging quick... I don't know what do you call it when you're conversing and you're exchanging what?
Banter?
I suppose. Yeah, there are moments
witty
of banter
repartee.
in the... Well, I don't know how witty it is, but it's definitely banter and... she definitely seems like a bully, a really adorable bully. And but yeah, so there are these moments where they are bantering and it's like fast and it just seems like it would be a pretty funny show. The thing that is a bit weird about the trailer is that Ji Chang-wook seems to have like rosy blushed cheek the entire time.
Yeah, that was weird.
And he looks very hapless throughout the trailer, so I guess that's the theme. I actually don't know what to think about this at all. I mean, I don't want to keep talking about the age difference because we have already hammered on it so many times in previous dramas that have disturbed us. We know that there is an age difference. They know there is an age difference. I don't think anybody in the audience who doesn't know that Kim Yoo-jung is 21, 22 years old. It's completely obvious, and it's not necessarily problematic. It's except for the fact that, of course, they start off the story with the girl being in school
uniform.
and him being in his late 20s.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the combination of the age gap, plus she starts it out in a school uniform, plus he's her boss. Like, those 3 things together, like, why do we always have to have these 3 elements together? I don't like it.
But it does slightly offset with the whole, she seems to be the, what do you call it?
The instigator?
No, the one with the upper hand in the relationship.
Yeah, and I mean, as usual, I don't want to, condemn it before even watching it, but...
Are you going to check it out, either of you?
I might watch 1 episode.
Yeah, I like Ji Chang-wook, and I like
So
Kim
this is my
Yoo-jung,
problem.
so just for
I really
them,
like both of them
Individually,
separately.
yeah. I just don't really see it working together.
I just don't want to see them together like this.
I want to see Kim Yoo-jung with someone her own age. God damn it, I sound like a dude.
Like, why can't we have a drama between her and what's the young boy with the deep voice?
Yeah. Yo Jin-gu or Kim Min-jae?
Yeah, Yo Jin-gu. Like, I want to see them as adults and as leads in a drama. Like, I think we've only gotten to see them as kids playing across from each other. Yeah. But I've been waiting to see those 2 together for 10 years. Come on.
Do you know what? I feel that will happen at some... It has to happen. It can't not happen.
It must happen. It better happen before he goes to the army. Come on.
And why doesn't he do a Yoo-sung-go and go to the army earlier, then come back and not...
He should. That would be smart.
I think that would be
he needs to go right now so that he can come back really quickly.
Exactly.
And still be young and employable. Not that they stop being employable, but you have to stay relevant.
No. Exactly.
Do you like how I managed to make the conversation about Yoo-sung-go?
Oh, we expect that at all times. So, so the next drama is another thriller. They're horror. I guess it's like summer horror season now. So it's called Sweet Home. In Korean, it's also Sweet Home. And it's premiering on June 13th. It's a Saturday-Sunday drama that's airing on Netflix, 16 episodes. And it stars Song Kang, Lee Da-hee, and Lee Jin-wook. And it's a story of a high school student who becomes traumatized after being bullied in school and never leaves his room. He loses his family and moves to a new apartment, but then strange and mysterious things begin to happen. And it basically is a story of growth that follows the lead character as he tries to save people who have changed into monsters because of greed and change his pessimistic view of society. And it's it's adapted from a webtoon, and it's directed by Lee Young-book, who did Mr. Sunshine, Goblin, and Descendants of the Sun with Kim In-suk. So that might give you an idea of his style. But I was going to put in the trailer. The only trailer I could find was a trailer that somebody made of the webtoon itself, like an animated trailer, but it was so spoilery, so I didn't put it in. But it looks extremely creepy, so I will not be watching it. What about you guys?
Yeah, pass.
Mm-hmm.
Too scary.
Gorma?
Again, I usually give scary stuff at least a try, but they don't. I don't know. I mean, maybe I expect too much, but usually Korean drama scary stuff isn't scary enough. It usually tends to get undercut by other stuff, and I generally don't tend to enjoy Korean thrillers. Not the movies. The movies can be pretty great, but yeah, with the exception of Kingdom, I can't say that I usually enjoy them. So yeah, I'll give it a try. I always give them a try, and let's see if I'm watching it.
And the last drama on this one is
I'm excited about.
Yeah, so the Korean title is basically I'm a Psycho, but it's okay. So obviously that was not going to fly as an English title for Netflix. So the English title is It's Okay to Not Be Okay. It's a 16-episode weekend drama as well. It's airing on June 20th, and it's simultaneously airing on TVN and Netflix. It stars, get excited, Kim Soo-hyun and So Ye-ji, Oh Jung-se. Those are like the three main characters from what I can understand.
Yeah.
And it's a fantasy romance drama about a community health worker at a psychiatric ward and a storybook writer suffering from antisocial personality disorder. So it's between a man who denies love and a woman who doesn't know love as they defy fate and fall in love, finding their souls and identities in the process. So he's not her doctor. That's good.
Definitely.
I kind of like the original title, the Psycho, but it's okay, because it's pithy. I mean, it takes the term that you have thrown at you if you have a disorder and kind of turns it around. I really like it.
But I feel like it wouldn't. That's not really a term that's socially acceptable anymore. So I don't think they would ever put it in a title. You know?
I feel like in Korean, when they say psycho, they don't mean necessarily like it has its own meaning in Korean. And yeah, I don't like actually the Korean title, or a rare occasion where the English one is far better. I think more representative as well, because isn't this meant to be like quite a sensitive drama?
I think it's that does seem to be the basis of the premise, where it's that everybody's suffering from something, and it's I really like it. I'm gonna watch this, not just for the cast, but because I really
don't
like.
Don't lie, you're watching it for Kim Soo-hyun.
Okay, maybe I'm 50% watching it for Kim Soo-hyun.
You know, honestly, like I don't think I've seen him in anything since The Producers. I haven't seen him in a long time.
He did go off to Army.
We saw him at the end of Hotel Del Luna.
You guys did, yeah. I haven't watched it.
He went off to Army. Did he do a film or anything after Army, or is this the first thing?
I don't know.
You know what else we saw him in? And how could you guys forget?
You From Another
Crash Landing on You.
Oh.
Was he in
that? Yeah, that part. His little
secretly greatly reference.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about that. Right. Yeah.
I forgot about that as well. I'm actually more interested in So Ye-ji, to be honest. I really like her.
What have we seen her in before? I don't know.
Lots of things. Lawless Lawyer.
Lawless Attorney.
Yeah. And Rescue Me, she was big in that. I've seen her in a whole lot of things, and I find her very entertaining when she's doing funny roles. And
I know you really love her, Saya, which makes me want to see this too. And the other thing I want to just quickly go back to the issue of the title. Like, I think the title in Korean is supposed to be comedic, which is not, like in the English title is not comedic, but like this is a comedy.
Is it a comedy? I didn't get that sense from the trailers.
A comedy in the sense that it's not a tragedy is kind of what I'm getting from the premise, but I don't know if it's actually going for a ha-ha comedy.
Yeah, I guess it really depends on the way they decide to go with the tone. Oh, and also like this was a detail that I saw in some summaries, that his older brother is autistic, and so he takes care of his older brother after his parents pass away by himself. And I think Oh Jung-se probably plays his older brother. And in the trailer, it's not subtitled, but basically he's talking about how he wants to run away from everything, including the responsibility of his brother. And so I think it's partly about him not running away from it, like learning not to run away from his problems.
The trailer is pretty dark. Like literally, it's dark.
It's
like
it's very serious.
So much shadows and nighttime shots, but also it's very, very. It's a Korean drama. There'll be humor. I don't doubt it. But it's no. But I could just generally the feeling I'm getting from this is pretty good. So
I also am wondering, like, what is the fantasy aspect? Like, is there a supernatural, or is it just that like the tone feels like a storybook? I don't know. I still haven't watched this month's psychiatric hospital drama. So
what? Which
Soul hospital? Repair or whatever.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot it was
which is
coming up.
Going by the title Fix You, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Soul Mechanic.
I was like, Soul Repair doesn't seem quite right.
Both of those are like translations, but its official title right now is Fix You.
I don't think so, because KBS World has been saying.
Can I just say I find Fix You more offensive than I'm Psycho, but it's okay.
Yeah, I hate that. I actually like Soul Mechanic.
Yeah,
it's
I like
different.
That.
Yeah, it has personality. Yeah, so I guess we'll see. Barma's definitely watching it, so we'll see what you think next time. Oh, and the other thing that is totally not a new premiere, but I'm excited because I found out yesterday when I was looking these up, is that Mayajoshi is coming to US Netflix on June 20th, and I'm marking that on my calendar because I'm going to watch it. Yes.
Oh, you poor souls. You get everything last.
We sure do.
Don't they get everything first?
No, we do not.
Amazingly, with K-dramas, India gets everything first.
The international viewers
right?
get stuff, much sooner than us. I don't know which areas of the world, but we tend to get stuff last. That's it. That's the June premieres. Nice and short and sweet.
Nice and short, doesn't add much to our plate. Just one drama, probably. So we can actually catch up with the stuff that's been going on before.
Yeah, I think I'm most excited to watch My Unfamiliar Family. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. That's the one I'm definitely going to check out. The others, I'm not sure. They might get left by the wayside.
I think I'm just going to try to keep clearing my plate of dramas that I've already left half finished.
Why are you making yourself sound like a naughty child who's having to be told to finish her dinner?
Well, like, for example, Black Dog, which I started like last year, which I loved, but I just ended up like pausing it when I went into Bookland at the beginning of the year, and it's nearly due. It's like June in 2 days, and I want to finish that drama because
you haven't finished that.
No, I have a little sticky note on my desktop here. I'll tell you what's on it. It's got Piece of Your Mind. It's got a list of what episode I'm on in case I forgot, and which I have. So Piece of Your Mind, episode 3, Diary of a Prosecutor, episode 8 or 9, ? Black Dog, 7, RDTK2, which is Romantic Dr. Teacher Kim 2, episode 7, Crown Clown, lost. I lost exactly. Look at where I'm at. And
oh my god.
And that's not even all of them. That's like,
but like I'm the kind of person who, like, if enough time passes, I'm just like, I'm never going back to that. Like, let's just move on.
No, because I want to. I like the reason that I didn't finish watching them was like for something random. It's not because I never meant to go back to them. It's just that, like,
Yeah, and then you lose your momentum.
Right.
And then you have to.
There's stuff that I paused watching like 4 Ramadans ago that I'm still not finished. And Crowned Clown is the one that was 2 Ramadans ago. So
my goodness. That was last year.
I want to finish them. But should we not ask Borama what she's watching, or did we already ask her?
Yeah, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to the last one. Psycho, but it's okay, or it's okay not to be okay. I think, yeah, we already covered why. I'm also kind of interested in the nurse drama. I don't know why, but I like after we kind of passed by it, I'm kind of going back to the synopsis and looking over it again. So I might give that one a shot.
Okay.
I guess we'll check back in next month and see how it's all going.
Yeah. As usual, probably we'll be like, I didn't watch any of the things that I said I was going to watch.
But I did watch this drama from like 1997.
Right. Exactly. All right, guys.
All right, guys.
I told you they were creepy twins, everyone.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
What? I'm confused too. Why are we creepy twins?
Because both of you like said it exactly on sync, and I was just like, I don't think I belong here.
What did we say, Arisa?
I don't know. I'll tell you when I listen to the recording.
Okay. So that was the episode we had for you guys. Let us know what you're watching in the comments or in the emails or in tweets. You can follow our podcast on Twitter at Dramas Overflow. You can follow us on Instagram at dramasoverflowers_podcast. And you can come and visit us on our blog, dramasoverflowers.net, where we are posting pretty great stuff every week. Come talk to us.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find us, guys? Aliza?
You can find me on Twitter at Anisa Khalifa_.
Saya?
You can find me on Twitter at NotNowSaya.
And you can find me, Porma, on Twitter at FestaFaster. Bye!
Bye!
Bye!